case is Don. Also, today's person of interest is Olivia. Today's missing person case is also today's missing person case is Courtney.
What's going on there, ma'am? We have a kidnapping. Hurry, please.
What's up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you can hear me all right, please put a 1 in the chat. For those that are new to this channel, I am Chris with Monsters Under Our Bed. We cover murder, mystery to the paranormal. Today we're going to be going over the latest with the Alex Murdaugh trial. And me and Steve did a cell phone throw test, kind of trying out different scenarios with the possible throwing the cell phone out of the vehicle at 40 miles per hour, and can we reach the approximate 25 feet that it was thrown from. And so got some interesting results to show you guys. Before we get started, I'm going to quickly plug my my Patriot Supply real quick. Mob crew and friends, are you prepared for the widespread food shortages ahead? Farmers have been warning us for months, but are we listening? They say it's beyond their control, especially with the fertilizer crisis. Bottom line, food shortages will be a harsh reality very soon. That's why you should get ready now with emergency food from My Patriot Supply. And good news, today you'll save 20% on their 3-month food kit. These kits provide delicious, easy to make breakfasts, lunch, dinner, snacks, drinks for one person for 3 solid months. Get one for each member of your family while you're able to save 20% during this timely sale. Remember, My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest preparedness company with millions of families already protected. These 3-month food kits, which average 2,000 calories a day, are in stock and ready to go. Order ships fast and free and arrives in unmarked boxes. Go to prepare with www.preparewiththemobcrew.com. Those who know what's coming are already prepared. Are you? Prepare with www.preparewiththemobcrew.com. Thank you so much. All right, so shout out to My Patriot Supply for being affiliate with this channel. Just a quick few updates with the modding. We have set Nightbot to capture, because when you use all caps, it considers it a negative towards the channel. So we encourage people not to use all caps, and Nightbot will time you out if you use more than 8 in one comment. So please try to refrain from using all caps unless you're just doing like an OMG or something like that. That's fine. So we do have that set on, so hopefully it's working properly. And like I said, usually I'll just time you out just for a quick second to let you know, hey, please try not to use all caps. So just a quick update on that. And then I just want to say thank you guys so much. We've been having such a high volume of people coming in and watching this channel, and I'm so honored and humbled. I just want to say to the mods and the commenters, please be respectful. With the commenters, I would just ask, if you are in disagreement with another chatter, just as long as it's respectful, that's all we ask. And then I would just ask the mods, try not to time anybody out unless they're using, hateful comments or something like that. We want people to feel like they can express themselves without being timed out. So we prefer warnings. But other than that, you guys do an amazing job. Thank you so much. And so go ahead. Before we get started, we always like to feature the missing. So we'll do that, and then we'll get started with our the latest details and our latest test. So today we have Sarah Stewart. She went missing on February the 12th, a few weeks ago, out of Mesa, Arizona. She is 26 years old, 5'1", 110 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She's got a couple of tattoos on her forearm, shoulder blade, and upper chest. It looks like she was driving a white Buick Verano 2017 with Arizona plates. She has not been seen since Super Bowl Sunday. So if anybody has any details, please call 602-876-1011. And one more. We've got Day Jayani Franks. I hope I said that right. Just 15 years old. Went missing late last year in December, on December 2nd. 15 years old, 5 foot tall, 125 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. And that is out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She is, let's me get this. And if you have any tips, please call 414-278-4788. All right. So I've got a poll going on right now asking you guys what you think. Do you guys think that Alex Murdaugh will take the stand and testify? Earlier today, before they got started, they were discussing if Alex were to take the stand, would prosecution, if he could take the stand without the prosecution bringing up his financials. But the judge said no, since the financial situation has been brought up in the case and to the jury, that they would have to, the prosecution would be able to cross-examine him on that. So kind of curious to know what your thoughts, if you guys think he'll take the stand. I think it would be wild. I hope he does. It would just be very interesting to see, all these kind of different lies that he was caught in, especially the biggest one, him saying that he wasn't at the kennels, but clearly he was. How is he going to be able to explain that? Would be very interesting. So, oh, good. We got Steve from... I can get it right. Oh, maybe. We got Steve from True Crime Web, who's been doing amazing work and a lot of the control tests for me. Shout out to him. Please go and show him some love over at True Crime Web, and I'll put his channel at the top in the comments, and it's always in the descriptions of most of my videos. So we'll get into our test, and then we'll talk about some other things as well. So let me get my video ready here. Michelle says, if he's smart, he won't. Yeah, it kind of blew me away when they were talking about that at the beginning. I didn't think he would, but I'd be fine with him taking the stand and the prosecution not even, if they were okay with the prosecution not bringing up the finances, I'd be fine with that, to be honest. Still would love to know his, just to see him being cross-examined about his whereabouts. So I'm going to go ahead and play part of the timeline.
What's up?
Of course, I think most of you guys seen my video of the complete timeline. If you haven't, it's obviously in one of my playlists here. I'm going to kind of skip it into just after the shootings happened. And since we did a control test with Maggie's phone, I'm going to kind of skip forward here. But actually, before I do that, we'll just kind of do this real quick here. I think most of you guys, if you follow this case, you know the basic timeline, but we will just quickly go over just the basic of it. And so I have it at noon, but I think it's closer to 1. Alex arrives to work. Then he leaves sometime after 6. At 6:24 p.m. he leaves work. Then he would arrive home, I think like 20 minutes before 7 o'clock. And then Paul arrives around 7 p.m., just before, I think. And then those two would be apparently driving around. According to one of his interviews, he says that they were driving around in Paul's truck. And so they were driving around for a little over an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes approximately. And then just a little after 8, Maggie arrives home at 8:17. We know that from her Mercedes. Looks like they ate pretty quick. And then they probably went down to the kennels 8:30, 8:40-ish. And then we have the famous kennel video at 8:44, which we hear Paul, Maggie, and Alex, which would be just minutes before they were unfortunately shot. And it looks like, according to the timeline and the prosecution's timeline, the shootings most likely, in my opinion, happened between like 8:49 to 8:53, somewhere in that time frame. Then we have Alex leaving for Almeida at 9:06. He's only there for 20 minutes. Then he leaves his mother's home, and then he arrives back home pretty much right out on the dot at 10 p.m. And then at 10:06, he would call 911. So let me get this video back up. So after the shootings happened, get this here. We'll start it here with Maggie's phone being handled. And this is just my opinion. Let's see if the volume's working here.
This was over by approximately 8:53, as Maggie's phone would be handled at approximately 8:53 and 15 seconds until 8:55 and 32 seconds, where it records 59 steps, and at 8:54 and 54 seconds, the camera on the iPhone would activate for 1 second because the phone sees a face, but it doesn't unlock, meaning that the shooter, who most likely is Alex, is handling her phone. At 8:55 and 52 seconds, her phone has one more orientation change, then is most likely put away in a pocket. It's unclear what happens next, but going off data from the cell phone and SUV data, I will put together the most likely scenario.
Okay, so I'm going to skip this forward. So in my opinion, I think just after they were shot, most likely Alex would have grabbed her phone. Maybe, obviously, he did delete some call logs from his phone from whatever reason. And I think that's a video that I'll make here soon, just to kind of cover the calls that he deleted and kind of speculate on that. So skip a little bit forward here. So it's possible he could have cleaned up at the kennels. Then either he walked back home, or it's possible that when they went to the kennels, all three of them, it's possible that they could have taken Paul's truck. So his Paul trucks could have been sitting there at the kennels, and he could have drove that back. We don't know that, how exactly he got back, but there's a couple of scenarios that could have happened. And then between 9:02 and 9:06, and of course his phone hadn't showed any activity since 8:09, suspiciously. But at 9:02, it would start recording steps. And to me, I think that's him just kind of running around the house, maybe cleaning up. And then just before he leaves at 9:06, which is very interesting, is that Maggie's phone, and let me grab my notes here, would detect an orientation change at 9:06. And to me, 9:06 and 12 seconds. To me, I think that's Alex grabbing her phone. And then there's a phone call that Alex makes. He makes a couple of them at 9:04 and then one more time at 9:06. I almost wonder if that call at 9:04 is him trying to find her phone. Maybe he set it down like when he came into the house and kind of forgot where he set it. And so he calls it once to kind of try to find it. And then he finds it. So now it's 9:06. He picks up the phone, and coincidentally, as it's being orientation changed just a few seconds later, he calls Maggie's phone again. And then just after that, he leaves the house.
6. His phone records 283 steps in just 4 minutes. The last time he had...
let me grab this real quick. 4x4 Blazer, thank you so much for the super sticker. You're so awesome. And, okay. Skip this forward because we did a phone test.
Cleaning up. He would call his wife's phone at 9:04 and twice at 9:06, but of course she would not be able to answer. Also, at 9:06 and 12 seconds, Maggie's phone would be handled with an orientation change. I believe this is Alex grabbing Maggie's phone after cleaning up and exiting the home and entering the SUV, as it would be started at 9:06 and 44 seconds. Alex would leave at 9:06 and 50 seconds and would head to his mother's house. As Alex leaves his property, he would have to take a right, and at this moment, about a quarter mile down the road from his property, he would most likely toss Maggie's phone out the window.
So I don't know why this is so weird. They have the arrow pointing like way out here, but we'll listen to the testimony of the detective, and it was only thrown from the road approximately 20 feet. He didn't measure it, but so we could say maybe 25 feet, just to give a little wiggle room. And then if he's on the right side of the road, the furthest away, you could add another 6 feet or whatever. So you could say maybe 30 feet from where it was tossed to where it landed. But clearly, it wasn't all the way over here. That's way too far. That's one thing I noticed, just to show you guys here. I don't know why. Really, the phone was probably found about here, but if we look, that's like 500 feet. There's no way someone's throwing that out. So I don't know why they had that. Maybe that was kind of an accident. So anyway, let's get to the test here. And okay, that's not the test. And so Steve did a test and I did a test. And I think we both got some interesting results together. I'm kind of quite happy with it. So this is the phone. This is Maggie's phone. And so here's a picture. Let me do this real quick so you guys can see it better. Minimize that. Screen this over. So on the left here we see her phone, Apple iPhone, I forget what version, and then we can kind of see the case, just a basic case, phone case for an iPhone, and we can see that the phone is sitting here. They have an orange flag planted down where it's found, and then we can see the road, and clearly just from eyeballing it, it doesn't look more than maybe 20 feet give or take from the road. And so yeah, not too far. Let's see, I heard something here. Hey, Email Jim. Hey, Chris, and all in the chat. Just got on late. Hope all is having an amazing day. Thank you so much, Email Jim. I hope you are too. Thanks, buddy, for the support. Man, it's awesome. So one of the things that me and Steve wanted to replicate is, could you throw it that far? And then also, would it damage the phone? So
this is this is Moselle Road here.
So we'll go back to the test. Here is the detective kind of just talking about how he discovered it. It's just a quick 1 minute.
This is just on the opposite side of the cell phone, looking back towards the field area, the trees for a line of reference to identify where it was actually located.
Okay. All right. And can you approximate the distance from the road that you found this phone?
I did not step it off or measure it, but I would say between 15 and 20 feet.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna show you exhibit. Excuse me. All right.
Yeah,
We are
totally.
looking at exhibit 228. All right. Describe what's in this picture, please.
That is just a more close-up picture of the Apple iPhone recovered from the leaves.
And do I see something on the screen of that phone?
Yes, sir. It's standing water, believed to be from the moisture from the night before.
And that screen, is that facing up or facing down?
The screen is facing up.
All right. I'll show you exhibit 235. All right.
Okay, so here we've got amazing Steve from True Crime Web doing his test. So first he's going to just try seeing just hand toss. I know that's not what they believe happened, but we just wanted to kind of experiment explore all options on this. So Steve did some amazing throws here, and we'll show all of his distances after he's done here. But he was just kind of seeing what would happen with a couple of backhand toss. And then he's going to drive by and toss it out the window at 40 miles per hour. As you can see, it doesn't go as far, but it does get a tumble. And we'll look at the distances here in just a second. But he tries 2 tosses at 40 miles per hour. And he got a pretty good toss on that second or third one there. So here's a look at, so everything on the top is him standing here. So just with some standing backhand toss, he got 47 feet, 50 feet, 61 feet. Clearly standing, you can easily get past that 20, 25 feet toss. Now with the vehicle, he got 23 feet in one of them and 42 feet with the other one. So clearly well past the 20, 25 feet that they supposedly found the phone. But would the phone like get damaged in any way? So what I did, because I'm not sure how Steve had his phone, so I also did a test, and I wanted to see just having a basic phone. Here's actually the phone that I tested right here. It's just a basic Android phone with just your basic one thing of cell phone cover. Because I was kind of curious, would it damage it? I mean, I'm sure if depending on certain levels, you could have caused it to crack. But here is my toss at approximately 40 miles an hour. And it landed just outside my camera. I thought I had my camera set up just right, but unfortunately I needed it. It just barely went out of frame. So I go and I measure it to see how far it landed. And I have in my hand a 25-foot measuring tape. And as you can see, once I get all the way through my 25 feet, which is almost to the sidewalk. So I basically tossed it. I tossed it about 25 feet, and then it rolled probably another 10 feet. So easily, and this is about what the grass looked like on the, and we'll kind of do a comparison here. I've got these side-by-sides coming up in just a second, but just to see how the phone, the condition of the phone was. And don't, I notice there's a little black piece over there. That's not part of the phone. But as you can see, the phone, fine condition, just with a basic cell phone case cover. Same conditions, small grass. There's like a little plot of soil and leaves just past that piece of grass where the phone landed in. But easily done. And here's just kind of an aftermath of her phone, so of them checking it. So clearly the phone was in good condition. So we'll come back to this in just a minute, but I just thought it was kind of interesting just to finish up on this phone toss thing. And thank you so much, Steve, for doing that. So here's the house, and here's where Maggie and Paul were found. And where the phone was tossed, which is so interesting, is it happened to be tossed. Now, of all the places you could have tossed the phone on your way out, I thought it was really interesting. You've got all this shrubbery and trees and whatnot that you could toss the phone, and it would probably be hidden, and it would probably be much harder to find. Out of all the spots to toss it, why toss it in this area here where it will most likely get found? This is the only major piece of evidence that is that we know of right now that is outside the property. And in my opinion, that's just him doing that on purpose to make it look like it's an outside source that came in and shot Paul and Maggie. But I just thought it was interesting that you've got all this line of tree and shrubbery, and the one area, I mean, you got two little areas here, but for the most part, I mean, if you back up, it's heavily wooded, and the one spot it's tossed in is in a clearing. And when you toss it going 40 miles an hour, you probably could have tossed it, let's say if it was found about, oh gosh, I'm just realizing you guys can't see where my mouse is at. I'm sorry. There we go. So if the phone was found here, if he was going 40 miles per hour, it would probably have been tossed somewhere about here because of the momentum of the phone going, you know, with the car going 40 miles, 42 miles an hour. It's obviously going to travel at an angle. So I just thought it's interesting that why are you tossing it in a clearing when, you know, you would want to destroy the evidence, or, you know, to me it looks staged. Let me know what you guys think in the comments while I grab these real quick. Emo Jim, if that phone had an OtterBox case around the phone, that would be hard to damage it. Yeah. And it's not being thrown from a very tall height. I mean, SUV is... And then Alex sitting in the truck. I don't know. I'd have to guess in height. Maybe 4 feet. 4 to 5 feet as far as the height it's being thrown from. And then if it's landing in padded grass and the way it lands on the grass, I'm sure the phone would be fine in just a basic cell phone case. But thank you so much, Emo Jim. Sweet Dreams, member for 3 months. Thank you so much, Sweet Dreams. Hey, Foza. Hey, hello, everyone. This is awesome, Chris. I love the way you and Steve don't take anything for granted. I love seeing you real-world experiments. Thank you so much, Foza. Yeah, we've been trying everything. You guys could teach Sled a few things. Thank you so much, Hilaret. I hope I pronounced that right. Credit goes to Steve. He's been doing a lot of the leg work. I just happened to... I kind of got jealous with him doing all the tests and thought I would kind of get out there and do at least one experiment. But Cynthia thinks the phone is staged. I was just kind of looking at, you know, Google Earth and just thought it was kind of interesting that out of all the places you're going to toss this phone, I mean, you've got all this heavily wooded, forest area, and it's tossed in a clearing. And then now, since I've done the test, and when you're going 40 miles an hour, like I said, if you toss it like here, let me zoom in here. So if you toss it like here, and you're going 42 miles an hour, it's going to go and it's going to land, somewhere ahead of where you've tossed it because of the momentum you're going. So when you throw it, the phone is also going 40 or whatever miles an hour you are as well. So it's going to go forward and to the side at the same time. So just perfectly thrown in this little clearing here. And I know we see some trees here, and let's just look at the picture here. And then we'll move on to some other discoveries I found today. Where is it? Okay. Oh, there it is. Here we go. So here's that picture, and as you can see, this one's the poopy one. These trees are actually cut, if I recall. Let's see. Oh, I think I have it in the beginning. But yeah, so these trees have been kind of cut down. This Google image that we're looking at, it looks like these trees have been kind of trimmed down. We're looking kind of a few years back. I don't know if I can see. Okay, yeah, this is 2023. So as you can see, it's clearly been cleared out. And now this grass is starting to, or whatever this is, shrubs are kind of filling in here. But just odd that it was thrown in that particular area, like it was, like somebody wanted it to be found. staging, in my opinion. Mystery ATV riding 5'2" youth robot assassin. Yes. Oh man, those robot. Yeah, that was kind of a scary presentation that they had yesterday. I didn't get to go live, but that was kind of very bizarre. Okay, moving on here. Close this here. Did we get everything? Okay. Okay, so here's some of the footprints that they were talking about today. They didn't really play them for, the people watching, but here's some of the photos. And let me back it up here. Oh yeah, I just go with Murdaugh, just because if I try to say Murdaugh, if I say that a bunch, I'm afraid YouTube's gonna think I'm saying the red rum word, and that's like a big no-no word now, unfortunately. And if you use it a lot, then your videos get flagged. So I try to just go with the Murdaugh. So here we got, and I'll show you where this area is. This is actually not where the red overhang is, but across the way where the, would it be the shed, I believe. But I believe they were talking about these kind of blank footprints. And here we've got, move this over. Maggie's sandal, which clearly, there's not much tread, if any. So I'm assuming these are from Maggie, these kind of blank note footprints, and these are her sandals. So here is her walking, but we'll look at some of the other treads from Alex and Paul, but I can't really see him, so I think the investigators may have kind of trampled over some of this. And that was kind of the argument by the defense. Okay, so here we got Maggie's sandals, and then we've got Paul's shoe, which are New Balance shoes. And they've got this like horseshoe type back on them, and then they've got these kind of square treads. I couldn't really see anything. Oops. It comes up fast. I couldn't really see this tread really anywhere in this. Not to mean it's not there. But clearly we can make out her sandals. Yeah, I think, yeah, it looks like chicken footprints. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So here's some evidence photos. I've got some more as well that I found that I haven't seen. Oh, this is what I wanted to show. So that area that they were looking at with all the footprints is actually over here, because I first thought this was the overhang that they were looking at the footprints, but apparently these, at least those photos, were taken from over here. And here's another shot here. Okay, so this is something that I wanted to get to. All right. So we were looking at what was in Alex's truck. And I think I've looked at this twice now. And after I played this the last time, I think maybe with Steve, I thought it was a towel. And I still, a little bit on the, because I have a design of a towel that I wish unfortunately it's in the wash right now. It's literally, I swear to gosh, the same design. Kind of like seashell looking design. But anyway, someone told me that's him in his shorts. And at first glance, it does look like the same kind of color and pattern of the swim trunks that he was wearing. But then when I started taking a closer look, it has some of the light green and it has some of the blue in it. But I started noticing some of the patterns weren't matching up. And then there was something, after looking a little bit closer, completely stuck out to me. So whoever sent this via email, thank you. It definitely got me on the right path. I don't think it's his swimming trunks, and I don't think it's a towel either, even though I have a towel that I swear it looks just like the same design. But I'm going to show you what I think it is, which is interesting. But it's close. It's the same kind of colors and everything. But if you take a closer look, and you might already start to see it, I'm going to show you here in just a second. You can actually look, to me, you can actually see what looks to be sleeves. You know how sleeves got those, the little threads at the end here around the arms because, it's tight. As you can see, and we'll zoom in. Oh, I'll zoom in on the picture after this. I can't zoom in on this. I think this might actually be a windbreaker. Let me know what you guys think in the chat, but I thought it was interesting. You can actually see the little armholes. I'm not 100% on it, but it looks like it.
Hurricane damage.
Yes, sir.
So let me show you guys the pictures, and then we'll get to the next thing here. Oh, where are you at? Okay. Yeah, doesn't that look like, let me know in the chat, doesn't that look like little sleeve holes? One here and one here? Am I just... It's either that or a towel, but I think those kind of look like sleeve club right there. Yep, looks like a jacket. Yeah, Steve thought it was a dog pillow. But doesn't that look like, let's see, do I have the... What did I do with the original? But this part, keep this in mind right here. Oops. Zoom that in. Now, doesn't that look like the same thing? And then you can see there's another one there. Am I? Is it pareidolia? It could be pareidolia. Just curious what you guys... It does look like it, yeah, with the elastic sleeve. That's what I was trying to think. Cuffs. Yeah, when you're on this. Yeah, it does look like cuffs. Let's look at the video in slow motion one more time. And then we'll move on. But I do have a towel. I swear, gosh, I have a towel that has the same exact pattern. So I'm 50-50 on this. But those do look like sleeves. And it would make sense. I mean, that would make the most sense to have a windbreaker, like a jacket, because it is off and on raining. But I thought it was interesting because this would be another article of clothing that did they ever test or look into, Could this have some evidence on it that they're called cuffs? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it does. It looks like sleeve cuffs. It's one thing when you see like one, but when you can actually kind of make out the second one. I'm going to do some more research and see if I can find this pattern here. But there's a towel that we have that we got from Sam's Club that has kind of like the same pattern on it. So I wonder, do they have, just kind of that pattern with different types of, beach towels, whatever, it's their spring line or whatever. But so yeah, just thought it was interesting because someone sent me an email saying, no, that's a pair of shorts, and here's, him wearing those shorts, and I'm like, oh, that looks close. But then when I looked again, I kept seeing this little thing here, and I'm like, God, that so looks like cuffs. So anyway, okay, so moving on. Okay, I'm going to play a little bit.
Hurricane damage.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm going to play a little bit of Buster from yesterday. There's one question that he was asked that I found very interesting that the prosecution asked him just before they were done cross-examining him. But before that, I'm just going to play just a little bit because I just thought it was interesting the way, I mean, I get it. It's father and son, his son's on the stand. But I don't know. I find it kind of disturbing how he's smiling and he's happy. It's like his son's here to save him or, I don't know.
Tell the jury a little bit about the Moselle property. I know they've heard a fair amount, but I think you probably know it better than anybody.
Yeah, so the Moselle property it's roughly 7.
Considering the circumstances, I just find it odd the way he's smiling. I just feel like, with what they're there, his mom and brother were sadly shot, and he could be the shooter, and here he's kind of smiling, happy, and it just, I don't know, it feels inappropriate. I don't know if that's the right
roughly
word,
1,700 acres, and a lot of that is really not even accessible. It's a lot of swamplands, a lot of stuff that you just, no road systems or anything like that, but a big portion of it is has road systems and everything, and it's a big property. It's broken up into several different parcels that border each other, and we have 20 some odd deer stands, dove fields, duck ponds, just all over the property. So
What type of hunting did you and your brother and your father do at Moselle?
everything: deer, duck, quail, dove, hogs.
Let me get to these real quick. I own a pair of boxer shorts with that design. Yeah, it seems like a pretty popular pattern. Like I said, I wish I have it on I took a picture of it on my phone, but I didn't get a chance to upload it. But yeah, thank you so much, Emo, for the $10, buddy. There's one more. Casey said, to me, it comes off as Alex is giving reassurance to Buster to lessen Buster's anxiety. Could be. He seems pretty confident on the stand. So we're just going to play a little bit, but then it's going to skip to the question by the prosecution, which I thought it was a very interesting question and answer.
You have a duck pond?
We have a duck pond.
Okay. And the hunting was, did you have a lot of friends come out and hunt as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the jury has seen a aerial view of the property, and there's a main house, there's shed, kennels, and then there's a house sort of right on Moselle Road. What do you call that house?
That's the cabin.
The cabin. And did you live in the cabin with friends over summers at some point in time?
I did. The summer of my sophomore year, after my sophomore year, me and two of my buddies lived in the cabin.
Okay. And who are those buddies?
Nolan Tootin and Rogan Gibson.
Okay. And the so we can get more of this. We've heard about hogs and pigs on the property. Can you tell the jury a little bit about that?
About the hogs?
Yes, sir.
We had a lot of hogs, and if you don't know, hogs are very destructive to a piece of property. We plant food plots for the deer, plant the fields for the doves and the ducks, and they basically go through.
Okay, so here it comes. Like I said, I just wanted to play a little bit of just showing Alex. I don't know. It felt a little weird to me. just because he was just so happy when, I mean, I get it. He gets to see his son talk and, but at the same time, it just felt weird. And then the emotion, man, to me, it's kind of like father, like son in a way when it comes to Buster and Alex. No, not really much emotion when asked about the, if you watched Buster and them talking about the events, what happened to his brother and mother. I was kind of expecting him to kind of maybe break down a little bit. Now he has been in court this entire time, so he's probably heard all this stuff over and over. So maybe he's just kind of already got that out of his system. So I could give him a pass on that. But here's the question that I thought, and the way he answers it, I think is so interesting. So I had to play this.
Court's indulgence. Did your dad try to get you to go hunting out there again one time, or suggest it?
He asked if I wanted to, and if I wanted to, that I could.
But you didn't want to?
No, sir. Didn't want to go.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So anyway, yeah, that came up faster than I was expecting.
Tried to get you to go hunting out there again one time, or suggest it?
He asked if I wanted to, and if I wanted to, that I could.
But you didn't want to?
No, sir. Didn't.
He did not hesitate for 1 second. It's like, hell no, I am not going hunting. I'm sorry, but I don't know. That, to me, I could be overlooking this, but the way how fast he answers that, hey, you want to go hunting where, and I'm not trying to make a joke of it, but, hey, you want to go hunting on this property one last time, and the way he answers it so fast, I don't blame him, but I just got to play it one more time. He answers it without hesitation.
Your dad tried to get you to go hunting out there again one time, or suggest it?
He asked if I wanted to, and if I wanted to, that I could.
But you didn't want to?
No, sir. Didn't want to go.
Anyway, I just, yeah. Yeah, did he dodge a bullet? I don't, Who knows with Alex, even if you think he's innocent of this crime, he's already got, after this, let's just say if it's a hung jury, let's hope it's not, and, Maggie and Paul get justice, but either way it goes down, this guy is still going to face basically life in prison with the financial charges, or pretty close to that. But still, are we ignoring the cell data expert from today? Pretty clear. Any possibility that Alec tossed Maggie's phone? Pretty clear. Sorry, that wrecked. Any possibility that Alex tossed Maggie's phone? Thank you so much, Freddie York. Now, are you meaning because it didn't have the orientation change? I'm trying to think. I watched most of it today. Usually, sometimes when I'm watching it, I'm doing something else. So I've got like one earbud in, and I'm like watching it while I'm doing stuff. Did they provide an argument for that? That I might have missed? Thank you, Freddie. Let me know, and I'll try to get your second comment on that. Let me know in the chat. The only thing I could think of is the orientation change, but they said not every time when you handle the phone will it, come on.
That's all I have. Thank you.
I mean, either way, that phone got there. I mean, how do we explain it getting there? So here is the tracks that I wanted to look at. We've got an overview drones. I found some drone footage of the property that I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, that's what I thought. You'd have to like kind of wake it up to get some orientation change. Was definitely that he couldn't have, was definitive that he couldn't have tossed the phone. I'd have to go back, Freddie. I don't know if there was an argument that was enough to say that. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at it. Anyway, but I will go back and look at that, Freddie. We always want to try to cover every angle. I didn't think that they provided enough argument that he couldn't have thrown it out there. So here is the property. Here's some drone footage I haven't seen, and this is where I think they had some suspicious footprint. But something that I wanted to talk about is one of the things that bothers me about Alex is when the officers there, when they show up, and we see these tracks, and let me pull up a side-by-side real quick here. There's a couple of them. So if we kind of look, his vehicle would have been parked approximately about right here. And we got some unknown tracks because even Alex is asked, and he says that there's like one set of tracks. He said, okay, yeah, those are mine. But he had no idea about these other tracks. And so if we kind of go off where those tracks are kind of going, they really are going to loop over possibly back onto the driveway. But if anything, they're definitely looping back possibly to the house. So, I mean, just an argument is if Alex, is innocent, and, here you got this officer responding, and he discovers some tracks that Alex clearly says aren't his. You would think Alex would be kind of like, hey, what are these tracks? And the fact that they're going to the house, you would think he'd be a little more concerned. And that's the thing, is he's not ever concerned about anything that they find kind of that's inconsistent. And I don't know, I find it odd that, there's these tracks. To me, I think these might have been possibly the side-by-side tracks, because they seem kind of parallel to each other, as if they were driving together. And that's maybe when they were coming to the kennels or something. That's just purely speculation. They're very tightly knit, close together here. I just kind of disappointed that they didn't take more pictures of the tracks and didn't get any kind of tire impressions from the ATVs, the vehicles, and to see. Obviously, even the defense even kind of argued about this. Why didn't they, look more into this? Because it could have answered a possible question of if there was another party there involved. Oops. Yeah, that's what I think. I'm pretty sure it's most likely an innocent explanation, but the fact that he brings it up to Alex, but Alex doesn't seem too concerned, and we kind of played, to me, like two different scenarios with the father concerned about catching their family's killer, and I showed Kaylee Gonkow's father's interview, a few days after actually I think it was a week, but you could see how emotional, how much emotion that Kaylee's father had, and how badly he wanted to catch that person that did that terrible thing to his daughter and friends. And then we look at Alex and his interviews, and it's just the complete opposite. And then obviously trying to get a detailed timeline, and all he's doing is giving a bunch of before and afters and not really giving them specific times. It just, I don't know, it doesn't, kind of bugs me. Henry Dog, thank you so much. Hey crew, much love. Thank you so much. Sandra Jean, thank you so much for the $5. And I really thought he was innocent in the beginning until the TikTok video came out. And yeah, we'll play that one time. And then this is what we're going to leave off because I'm going to kind of have a shorter show tonight because unfortunately we got a ton of snow today. It dumped on us. Sounds like some other places got hit with the winter storm as well. We got what feels like over a foot here at the house in the valley. And so I've been going out and shoveling snow every 30 minutes. Oh yeah, that's a good, yeah. Right, why would you ever send your child out there to hunt when you think there might be two? Yeah, no kidding. That's not a bad point at all, Terry. Where is her vehicle parked? So apparently her vehicle was at the house, I'm assuming. Because I think that either they took, when they went to the kennels, either they took Paul's truck or they took the ATVs. One or the other. And they may have even took both. I mean, we don't really know. But those two parallel patterns could indicate that those two could have been, this could have been just earlier when they arrived at the kennels, and this could be them on the two ATVs, possibly. I mean, that's just speculation. I don't know, but it's definitely possible. I'm going to play this just a little bit. It's almost over. And then there's just one more thing I wanted to touch on. So just, I don't know, let's see how. If by chance Alex does take the stand, which would be wild. And he gets asked the question, were you at the kennels that day? And let's just play this real quick. Where are we at? Here we go. What's up? Play the kennel video real quick here. Okay. Go ahead and play this once.
Paul thought there was something wrong with Cash's tail and decided that he would approximately 8:44 and 49 seconds, which is a 50-second video. In this video is where we learn that not only Paul and Maggie were at the kennels, but there's a third voice heard, and that is Alex Murdaugh.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Bubba. Hey, Bubba.
It's a guinea.
This is a chicken.
Come here, Bubba.
Come here, Cash.
Come here, Bubba.
Cash. Quit.
He is clearly calling the family dog's name Bubba, who is a lab and likes to chase chickens. So although Alex told investigators that he was at home taking a nap during this time, he was clearly with the family just minutes before they were shot. Just a minute before the attack at 8:48 p.m.
So let's look at this data, and I'll have to pull up the data that they had, as I have most of the data here. Actually, let's pull up my other one. I've got kind of a master, and I'll have to see if there's anything new. I think they might have added a few things. Let's see, where is it at? So here is, okay, so we got Maggie's phone on the left here. So the phone toss, so we have a display on at 9:31:44. next 22 minutes, no activity on Maggie's phone. Display turns on at 9:31. Could that be from a possible call, or could have been handled? Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad question. How it get there, and then if the display turned on. I'll have to look at today's testimony and see what the argument was. And the one thing I don't know a lot about is iPhones, because I'm an Android user. So I'll have to look at the calls. It makes me wonder if there was a phone call or something that could have activated the display or something. But anyway, moving back. So if he was there, let's say if he takes the stand, and then he gets asked the big question. He's there at the kennels. And if you think he's innocent, how do we explain him, being there at 8:44? And what's going to be his explanation for leaving minutes before the shooting happened? And maybe you can push the shooting a few minutes later, but you would think that the shooting would have to be over by 8:53, because all the messages that Paul and Maggie received, they would read. Now, Paul's phone was at 2%, so he's probably trying to save it, but he still didn't read. And he was supposed to send that video to Rogan, so that video never got sent. And with Maggie's, she did get a text, but that goes unread at 9:08 and 58 seconds. And then we have, let's see, was there one more that didn't get read? Okay, so yeah, she reads one at 8:49, and that would be the last one she reads. So just curious if you guys have any ideas on how can we explain him being there at 8:44, and then he would go back to the house to get his vehicle. But why call? And then he calls his wife at 9:04, 9:06, and the big question would be, if she didn't answer, wouldn't you be concerned? You know that they're at the kennels now, so even though you left him just after 8:44, and now I find it odd that they even did the shooting situation with the decibels and stuff, because obviously now he's not taking a nap, so I think you can throw that out the window with him not being able to hear the gunshots, because we don't even know, if clearly he wasn't taking a nap, so he's at the kennels, but he's driving back to the house for whatever reason, to get his vehicle. And it seems like the drive from the kennels to the house is approximately a minute, because we can see the two times that he drives back and forth. Let's see, where was it? So yeah, one of the drives, it takes 1 minute and 6 seconds from the house to the kennels. And then I think he does one more drive, which takes 1 minute. Actually takes just barely under a minute between the house and coming back. And that's apparently when he goes to grab the shotgun. So at least just barely close to a minute for him to at least get to the house by vehicle. And if the shooting happened at 8:49, 8:50, that only gives him a few minutes. And I just don't know why, if you're going to call your wife two times, I think at least two times, 9:04, 9:06, and she doesn't answer, wouldn't you be concerned that she's at the kennels and not answering? And the whole reason you had Maggie come over was that, your father's terminal, and that you're going to go over to Alameda and she's going to come with you. So it just, to me, I can't get behind a timeline that would make sense putting him at the kennels. Hey, Chris, got to get back to work. I'll continue watching later tonight. Take care, all. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, I wanted to show you guys just a piece of evidence that I hadn't seen. Where is it? So here's one of the evidence photos that they took. And I'm assuming this is in the red overhang next door in the shed or whatever. And we can see that there's a box of Remington bullets. And as you can see that there's all different types of ammunition. I have no idea what these are because I'm not a gun person. But clearly it looks like different types of ammunition. And we know that Paul was shot with 2 different types of ammunition. And then ironically or coincidentally, Alex loaded his shotgun with 2 different types of ammunition. I mean, you already have those 2 coincidences right there. Plus the fact that they were most likely shot with their own firearms. And then here's a picture. I haven't seen this picture. The other thing I was trying to get, I'm just curious if if anybody knows if they have the floor plan to this house. I've been trying to find it recently, and I can't find anything. I looked on Zillow, but I couldn't find the floor plan because I was just kind of curious to see the layout of the house. So if anybody knows has seen any kind of floor plan for this place, I would love to kind of get my hands on it just to do some tests. But then we have another picture of evidence, and this is the blackout ammo, which is the S&B ammo that was used on Maggie. Looks like it's pretty expensive bullets, according to Steve, because he had used a blackout to reenact it, shooting Maggie. And of course they have the same ammunition that was used on Maggie, so just another thing that just doesn't look good in there. Chuck Grimm 007, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. Right, why wouldn't he check on them? Because he was there. Yeah. Yeah, that's the gun room. Yeah, first I'm like, is that the living room? But that is the gun room. It's just taken at a different angle. And everything's... Yeah, because the pool table and the guns are actually to the right. Yeah, you're right. That is the gun room. So let me go to see what you guys... So we got 600, almost 700 votes. Do you think Alex will take the stand? We got 36 that say yes, 47 say no, and 16% saying not sure. So kind of more than half of you at least think he's not going to take the stand. I really hope he does, though. I'm going to go ahead and end that. So I'm just curious. Me and Steve have been doing control tests like crazy. Well, Steve has. Is there any tests that we haven't done that you guys can think of? Let me know in the chat. Just kind of curious if you guys have a test that you would like us to try. We've done the time test for Maggie, or for how long it would take to check 2 bodies, and clearly it would take at least 30 seconds, according to how Alex described it. The way that Paul was shot, I think Steve did an excellent job. They're still trying to discuss. I've seen some different possibilities, but I think people are definitely coming around on the idea that the shooter could have tripped. And I think he did a fantastic job with Paul's reenactment there. And they even talked about what is it? The thing that he tripped on. But yeah, he did an amazing job with that. Let me see what you guys say. We were thinking about doing the step test. Have an idea to discuss on the last steps. Okay. Yeah, we've been trying to do some of the test things, or the steps. Those are really hard to kind of reenact because I'm sure every app's going to be a little bit different. And let's see, as we can see here, the thing that stuck out to me is, you know, in a 10-minute time frame, he recorded 283 steps. That's Alex. Just after the shootings happened, he happened to record that same amount of steps in half the time, and less than half the time. So in my opinion, that's him moving around twice as fast than what he did at between 6:52 and 7:02. Yeah, Wanda says, I think Alex thinks he can talk to anyone. He is a people person. That's it. That was his job. I mean, he knew how to work people. That's and you see that in the interviews when they're kind of interviewing and he's kind of just beating around the bush, and you can always see him kind of looking out the corner of his eye occasionally and seeing if that satisfies the investigators. Yeah, he's totally he's not a dummy, but to me, I think he's not a good person. I totally agree. Yeah, I don't think they did a thorough job. I think they unfortunately were looking outward, and then it was too late, and they didn't do enough. They didn't search the house well enough, and evidence now is gone. They can't go back. But there could be the guns somewhere. You know, they still haven't found the guns, and that could come back to haunt. You know, whoever did this, which in my opinion is Alex. They could be buried. And so my next video, depending on what goes on tomorrow, I'm going to focus on the drive to Alameda and just that area and the house itself. And I just thought it was kind of odd that he's only there for 20 minutes. I mean, I know it's kind of late. It's 9:43 when he gets, let's see, he gets there at 9:22. He leaves at 9:43, but you know, he's not there for very long. And with his father becoming terminal, to me, I think that's a little odd that he goes there, but he's not there for very long. You know. I have a question. Where was Maggie's car? If it was still at the house, wouldn't Alex know she was still there before he left his mom's? Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would be sitting right next to his SUV, apparently. Yeah, because the Mercedes, the last activity that we know is at 8:17 when she shuts it off. And then that's it. And so clearly it'd be in the sitting at the house. Let's see. So yeah, it would have been clearly sitting somewhere next to the SUV when he goes in. So yeah, if he was at the kennels, he knows they're there. And then he even tries to call them, and the fact that they wouldn't answer, you'd think he would be concerned about that. Let me know if there's any tests that you'd like me and Steve to try. We've tried just about everything. If you missed the first part, I'll play the phone toss one more time if you missed that. You can clearly throw the phone and easily 20 feet from the road. So as you can see, 20 feet are about right here. And we were able to clear 20 feet just about every time. And then the biggest thing that I just want to show with this phone toss is the momentum. Oh. There we go. There's me tossing it. And I probably tossed it about right here. And so it traveled forward, not only outward away from me, but it traveled, you know, at least a good 20 feet in front of me from where I tossed it, because obviously the phone is going at the same miles per hour as I'm tossing it. But just one more time, the phone was tossed in this clearing here. Let me go back. The phone was found about 20 feet off the road, approximately in this area here. And just one more time, like I said, why, if you're going to try to get rid of evidence, why wouldn't you toss it somewhere in the tree line? You got all this tree line. Why would you just toss it in a clearing? To me, it seems like somebody wanted them to find that, and they wanted to find some kind of evidence that led them away from the property to distract them. That's just my opinion. But I was about 40 miles per hour when I went. Steve was at 43, I think 42 or 43, so he hit it on the dot. I think I hit maybe 40, 41. I know I was at 40 when I was going. And I can kind of show you. So the road that I was doing this on, where'd it go? So these cars, this is 35 miles per hour. So as you can see, these cars are going 35. And so if you see when you'll see me drive, and you'll see me clearly. So here's this car coming in the background. He's going 35. You can clearly see I'm going way faster than this guy going 35. So yeah, definitely at least 40 miles an hour. When I tossed it, obviously I'm kind of, once I knew I was close to the 40, that's when I got ready to toss it. So I could have hit 42, but I'll just say 40 miles per hour. But clearly it's easy to throw 20 feet. And then the damage to the phone, there was no damage. Here's the phone. Oops. This is the phone that I tossed, and it's in fine condition. So just a basic cover, just like the one Maggie had, and it's able to replicate pretty much the same thing. So anyways, guys, I'm sorry I don't have more prepared. Like I said, we had a huge snowstorm last night, and just been out trying to help the neighbors with the trying to get them unburied from all the snow that we got, and so I didn't get as much done today as I was hoping to. But I think we're gonna focus on Almeida tomorrow, and I'll go back and look at some of the argument for the phone and see about what they were saying, because I did watch it, but I could have been kind of busy on some of the, like I said, sometimes I'm multitasking when I'm watching it. So oh geez, me and Steve, yeah. Dad, I think I can't wait to have Steve on next Monday to kind of, because you can fire from the hip, as we've seen Steve do, and you can clearly disguise your height by just shooting from the hip, and it doesn't matter if you're 6'4" or, you know, all you got to do is just drop the gun. I mean, you can clearly disguise someone's height by, you know, where you're shooting it, shoulder to hip fire. And, you know, some of those shots that she was hit with, And even some of them missed. One went into the doghouse, and one went into the chicken coop, and one of those could have been a miss. And so that could explain that, that was being fired from a hip, and it wasn't, down the sights. So, but I think that would be probably Steve's expertise and him to explain that. But if you're rewatching this, put in the comments if you have any experiments that you think you'd like me and Steve to try out. The only other one we have done, but I didn't get it ready, is the decibel. Steve was shooting at what was it? I can forget how far. 1,400 feet away, 3.5 football fields away, and he had a cell phone with a decibel reader, and he was in the house while he had somebody fire a shot, a couple of rounds, and basically what read on the decibel reader is 30 decibels, or 0.30 decibels, 30 decibels, which 60 decibels is the snap of your finger. And so like doing a half snap of your finger would kind of be what it would sound like. So very, very soft. So you could be able to hear it under certain circumstances, but it wouldn't be loud. Oops. I can't get it. Love your experiments recreating all this. Thank you so much. We've been trying to do everything we can, and of course, we'll see what the defense, rolls out, and if we can kind of reenact what they're talking about, or put up an argument for what they've introduced, then we will. Steve is going to be leaving eventually to start working on some cold cases. For those that are new to the channel, we will be, so after the Murdaugh case, we are going to be starting to focus on going out and working on cold cases. Some of those include Dylan Rounds, which there may be an update coming soon. They were actually on East Idaho News recently, but they said they might have some updates, but they don't know when it's coming. And so, but as soon as we hear that, of course, we'll do a video on it, or we might even have Candace on. But yeah, come springtime, we are going to go out and start working cold cases. So all the funds that come in and stuff for what you guys have been sending in, we're going to be using that to go and help, people with the cold cases. So we're really excited. Sandra Jean, here's another $5 for gas. It's $4.99 a gallon. Ooh. Unleaded 93. Is that unleaded? In Arcadia, California. Wow. I think ours is 3 something. So not too bad. Not as bad as $4.99. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. My iPhone does not wake unless you tap the screen or press the power button. Try it yourself. Okay, well, we'll look into that little part. Like I said, we've been doing tests, looking at every kind of angle. This was really, the test we were doing is obviously just to show if we could get it 20-25 feet in the toss. That was what we were focusing on, that test. But I will look into the phone if it turned on, and see what kind of answers I can discover on that. So we try to look at all angles. So I definitely wrote that down, and we'll look into it for sure. So thank you, Casey Ann. And thank you to everybody that donated. And I appreciate you guys being amazing in the chat. So I'll probably have a regular video tomorrow, and then been trying to focus live shows on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then a possible one over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. And then for the members, I do at least one video, and then a members only live, I try to do at least once or twice a week. So with that said, I think we're going to end it, and we'll be back on Friday, and then I'll have a video for you guys tomorrow. So Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you guys, and we will see you guys soon.